Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first ever podcast of Recently Retired. We are so excited to finally get going here. We've had a few technical difficulties and things like that, but we are really excited.
We are back, baby. We are back.
That was really loud, probably. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, hi. So we are two D1 athletes, recently retired D1 athletes.
Yes. We played D1 soccer at Binghamton University for 5 years. We were born and raised in Appalachia, New York. We went to Vestal High School, and we have two older brothers who are 1 year older and 3 years older, and then two amazing, loving, beautiful, kind parents.
Yes, we do. So we really wanted to start this podcast to just talk about all the highs, lows, and crazy parts of being a female athlete today, but also just for a female who maybe has played sports or is juggling a lot of things at once. But we just wanted to make sure, I guess, that people don't feel alone in what they're going through, especially in college and high school, and like that these experiences are normal and maybe help and guide some of the younger girls going through some of these challenges.
Yeah, definitely just want to help. And if we were going through college and high school and had, older girls who have been through it, I would love to have listened to their experiences and get their advice. So that's kind of what we want to do. So this first episode is just like an introduction, get to know us. We'll be talking about kind of who we are, what we do, whatever. So, and then our other episodes we're going to be doing 10 other ones for the first season. It'll be about injury, leadership, mental health and burnout, body image, post-graduation feels, school soccer balance, self-care and breaks, confidence, and kind of the recruitment process. So if you guys want to hear anything else, you can comment on our social media, which is recently.retired or recently_retired on TikTok. But you can just look up recently.retired and you'll find us. And if you want to DM us or put comments on any of our posts about something you want us to talk about or like anything like that, we're super open to feedback and really just want to give you guys what you want to listen to and just kind of shoot the shit and just talk about our stories and lives and experiences so you guys can listen along. Yeah. And like I said, a lot of them are soccer related, but others aren't. So
right.
Things like that. But yeah. All right. So let's get into getting to know each other a little bit. So
yeah. So I'm Tori. I again grew up in Vestal, played soccer my whole life. Looked up to my brothers, wanted to follow in their footsteps. I played soccer in high school. We played for a club team that traveled all over the country, went to Arizona, Vegas, Florida, Virginia, Ohio, places like that. We traveled a lot. We were in USU soccer. And then we also played for ODP, which is Olympic Development Program, which is for like New York State West. And then I also played for the Region 1 team, which is like the whole East Coast. And we played like the North, the South, and the West part of the United States, which is a really cool experience for me. I went to Florida twice and Costa Rica. And then I was also an All-American in high school. So I had a very exciting high school career. And then I started college and I tore my ACL in my first scrimmage as a freshman, which was a dagger. And that kind of threw me for a loop identity-wise of like, who am I without soccer? And so obviously we'll talk more about that in different episodes about injuries and identity and things like that. And then I came back from that ACL, COVID hit. Then I played my junior season, tore my ACL again, the same leg in my junior quarterfinal. Such a meme. It was on Halloween weekend, so it was extra spooky. And then came back, played my senior year, and also played my fifth year. So that's kind of the quick rundown of my experiences. I was a kind of feisty, aggressive teammate, I would say, throughout my career. But we can also get into that. But Livy, do you want to kind of give a rundown of your experiences?
So I mean, we're basically the same person, except I
am cooler.
No, except I didn't have 2 ACL surgeries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Yeah. So, grew up at Appalachian, same thing, 20s. And then went to Binghamton University, played soccer there, was a 3-year captain.
Subtle flex.
Yes.
Hashtag flexing. And then she went and played professional soccer in Iceland.
Yes,
for
I did.
5 months.
Yep. I just got home a couple weeks ago.
That's also why we couldn't get the podcast rolling because she was in a different country.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, we both were English majors. Yeah, both of our brothers went to Binghamton University to play Division I soccer. So everyone jokes we should rename it the McKnight University. And I mean, I wouldn't be opposed.
How do you blame him for that?
Yeah, like I'm definitely not opposed. We can talk about that.
Yeah. So that was fun going to college with our older brother.
Yeah. And mom's a teacher, dad works for the state. He played D3 soccer at New Paltz. Go Hawks, baby.
Such a king. So if you're wondering where we got our ability to play soccer, it's definitely from him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even go to college for soccer. Like literally went freshman year, and then sophomore year was like friends with the soccer guys, was really good at drinking. So they were like, do you want to play with us? And he joined, ended up staying a 5th semester, like to play his 4 full years. So
king.
Yeah, that's what got us in. Our mom was a cheerleader. So...
She played softball too, apparently.
Oh, right.
But well, yeah, we can get into them later.
We can say we get our competitiveness from her.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like if you be hearing cards, you're not hearing for her the rest of the day.
No.
So I guess I feel like our athleticism from dad, our competitiveness from mom.
Yeah.
Which works out because we needed them both. Yeah. So shout out.
It was a good combination.
But yeah, so how did we get into soccer? We got into soccer when we were 3.
Yep.
Both of our older brothers were playing like rec and stuff, and we wanted to be like them. They also forced us to be like them.
Stop playing with that pen. It's annoying.
Why?
It's probably distracting.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, started when we were 3, played rec. Dad was our coach. Brothers played, and then I guess we just fell in love.
Yeah, sure. We were kind of
never looked back,
forced into it by our brothers. Because we wanted to be like them, definitely, but like we weren't allowed to do anything else in their book. Like when we got into elementary school, like when we came home from school, like there was no choice. We were either going outside, playing soccer in the grass in our backyard, or on the trampoline, or when it was winter, on our cement garage floor.
Yeah,
every single day.
Yeah, no coloring, no. Yeah, can we do our homework and like do girl stuff? Like, no, it wasn't.
They'd
an
like
option.
to take the credit for us going D1 because
any accolades I've ever received, it's because of them. So thank you guys so much. We love you.
So yeah, that was super fun. But anyways, that definitely taught us a lot. I mean, Connor, who's our oldest brother, is psychotic. He pretty much won. No, he did win every single solitary game from kindergarten through probably 7th or 8th grade for us. Would not let anybody win. So it was me and Connor, or Olivia and Connor, versus me and Parker, or Olivia and Parker. And poor Parker never won a single game. Even if he did win, he didn't. But
I guess you can say we learned how to lose at a young age.
Yeah.
So thanks.
You had to.
But yeah, we were just very competitive. All we wanted to do was play together. I mean, we're so close in age. How could we not? And luckily, we all liked the same things. Like, we all loved soccer. We all wanted to play. So it worked out. But yeah, I mean, they definitely toughened us up, I would say. For sure.
Yeah, but definitely not all the credit can go to them.
No, I mean, obviously not. But, I mean, it was fun.
But yeah, I think growing up, we were very fortunate to have a good club team in our area, where our boys were like, our brothers were less fortunate in that regard. They didn't have like the greatest club team. So like they kind of were forced to decide on Binghamton almost because it was in the area and they knew the head coach and yada, yada, yada.
They didn't have a lot of time to like travel to other.
Yeah.
Like where other scouts were going to be and stuff like that, I guess.
But we did. So we were very fortunate there. And yeah, we got to, talk with different colleges and like visit different schools, but eventually Binghamton just felt like the right fit for us. And we had talked about it. I'll never forget, like on the beach, we were like, we have to decide, like it's coming up. We were sophomores and we were like, Binghamton just kind of felt like home, and we wanted to really turn the program around with our head coach, Neil, who had came in a few seasons before and took them from last place in the America East to now winning the regular season. So we kind of saw his mentality of wanting to win and wanting to create a winning culture.
That vision.
That was weird.
So going back to childhood, like, let's just give a favorite memory to kind of let you guys in on how we grew up.
I'd say favorite memory was probably just like having dad be our coach at like rec. Like, we were so young, but he was such a good coach at making his players fall in love with the sport. Like, and I think that's so important for any coaches that are listening, or any, recently retired Division I athletes that are going into coaching, like maybe at the club level or even at the college level, like getting your players to love whatever sport they're doing, or even whatever like job you're doing or anything like that. Like getting them to really fall in love is what's important. And he did that. Like, so many of us girls from like this little rec team in Vestal, New York, like went on to play in college. I want to say like 8 of them, maybe, like out of the 10.
There was a couple lacrosse and a couple soccer.
Right.
So, yeah.
And like he just got them to love athletics and playing. So I think that was probably my favorite memory, because we just had so much fun and we laughed and we were really good too, because he taught us a lot of the fundamental things.
He was like, he had us like passing back to the goalie and stuff. And he said like some of the parents and the other teams were like, what are they doing? Like, you're not supposed to pass it back to the goalie. But we were like building out of the bag. And yeah, so that was fun.
I would say, just like those days of first falling in love with the sport was definitely such a core memory for me. What about you?
Yeah, honestly, so many. But one that comes to mind is we would always go to like playgrounds, like parks. We loved parks. So the 4 of us would go to our elementary school right around the corner, and my dad would create obstacle courses for us. So like go down the slide, up the rock wall, through this, down this, monkey bars, whatever. And then he would time us each as we would go. And then you would see who won. And sometimes I feel like he would forget to start the timer for mine for like 20 seconds, because
she would never win if he didn't. So,
well, we don't know that for sure. It's not confirmed.
No, it's confirmed.
No, it's not confirmed.
It's definitely confirmed.
But anyways, yeah, it was, I don't know. We just loved it, and it got our energy out. It was so fun. I just,
I think also
that stands out.
Like growing up with your best friend is so fun. Like being twins, we just did everything together, and we rode bikes and played, and we just had such a good childhood growing up. And then when you grew up, that's when we started to have different personalities and go through different experiences, which have made us to like want to start this podcast and share, because yes, we're so similar and have so many core beliefs, but like we've also had so many different experiences that have like led us to who we are today. So that's also like a big part of it.
Yeah. And like I said, just all 4 of us in general, like we like so many of the same things.
Yeah.
Like similar movies, music taste, sports taste. Like we were just always so content just being together and doing the things we loved. So
yeah. I mean, and we were so competitive. I mean, everything was a competition. Like, we had a pool growing up out back, and it was like swimming races every single time we wanted to play. Like, it wasn't just like fun colors and sharks and minnows. Like, it was like we're racing, and if you lose, you are a loser. And then like basketball in our neighbor's driveway, and then like we played 2-hand touch football in our street, which turned into 2-hand shove me down the hill, Livy, and I freaking smashed my glasses. And anyways, everything was
for nothing. Like, don't play 2-hand touch if you don't want to get pushed over.
Okay. Anyways,
you're out.
Everything was a competition. So I think too, like, that's where I got so much of my competitive fire. And I think when I went into high school and then eventually college, like playing with boys is so different. Like that mindset of just like, you can say whatever you want and you can be aggressive and competitive. And then when you start playing with girls, it's kind of a shift. Like you have to kind of, be a little bit nicer and like watch what you say. So I think too,
coming from a psychopath.
That's me. All my teammates listening, you guys know. And I'm sorry for everything I've done. But I think that's where I got my competitive fire, is just like, I think people don't realize, who didn't grow up with that, like why I was the way that I was. And like,
yeah, it's definitely like hard figuring out that balance. I mean, we're also, I feel like, the exception with having those 2 other brothers who also went to our same college.
Yeah.
And like some games I would like come off the field and they'd be like, you were horrible. And I was like, oh,
no, like you're the worst player I've ever seen.
Yeah. And I'm like, I love that, Kings, but sometimes, because you have everyone else, telling you good job, but sometimes it's nice to know, like, you can be better. Like, there's more in the tank, there's more from you, and I don't think we would have been the players we are without that.
Yeah.
But again, it's definitely hard when it comes back down to like, being a leader in your own regard and in your own sport. You can't just tell them that was the worst game you've ever seen them play.
Right. But I think with our sibling like conversation, it was like they've seen me like play and they know what I'm capable of. So if I ever came below that, like
it was going to be told.
Yeah, you were going to be told, like, you didn't play well and you didn't play to your standard and you looked slow and you looked lethargic. And I mean, literally, I kid you not, guys, one of my brothers told me in college that I looked like I was running with a mini fridge attached to my back, and that I would be so much better if I just unclipped the fridge. Just let the fridge fly off my back. Like,
so lovely.
This is the shit we're talking about, guys. So,
but yeah, I mean, going back to like teammates and stuff.
Yeah.
How would you describe me as a teammate? And then I'll describe you.
Oh my gosh. I feel like,
just to give our audience an idea.
Yeah. I feel like those listening, Livy was like the perfect teammate, in quotes. Like, she loves when somebody rubs her ego.
That's you. Well, that's definitely you.
I like when people speak the truth. So, of course I like that. Anyways,
Continue.
Like, kind of picture perfect. Like, came in, like, I mean, in high school too, but even in college, I came in as a freshman, like, started with such a, like, a very good technical, solid sound player, was always going to have, like, that leadership quality. Like, she had such a big heart on the field and off the field, so teammates came to her, looked to her for, like, an example, somebody to talk to, and, like, our coach just loved her because she was just kind of, like, that steady, like, force, like, you know, captain, leader, like, and then also on the field controlled the game, controlled, like, the communication, like, if we were in a lull, helped us get out of it, like, if we were too frantic, helped us settle down. And I think a lot of people look to her, like, if things were going wrong, like, what do we need to do? How do we get this back under control? And then same with off the field, like, if kind of stuff was going down, like, whatever was happening, if, like, you know, there was a drinking thing or anything like that, everybody's like, Livy, what do we do? So I feel like as a teammate, I would describe you as just, like, the definition of a captain and leader, and somebody who was, like, a core and, like, held all the core values of what a teammate should be. And I mean, you weren't perfect by any means, obviously.
I mean,
yeah. So I think she just, I would say, like, just a very, like, solid kind of core leader, captain, player, and somebody people could lean on and come to for things.
Yeah. Thanks, Queen.
But also, like, annoying.
No, never.
I mean, nobody liked, like, I mean, Maddie Ziegler, like, she was, like, Abby's favorite, so everybody's, like, kind of roots against her, and I feel like that was sometimes you, like, you were, like, Neil's favorite, and then in high school, too, like, everybody was just like, oh my god, it's annoying, like, Livy can do no wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I can't.
So like, if it was, like, a tournament, like, 3v3 tournament at practice, nobody's rooting for Livy.
Yeah. Like, sometimes our coach would be like, okay, like, final round, 3v3, like, pick your side, like, whoever wasn't in the tournament, go stand on which side you're rooting for. Like, there'd never, ever be anyone on my side. No. I'm like, guys, it's like, is it because I'm so cool and win every time?
You didn't. I actually won a lot of the times. I did.
Selective memory, I guess. So anyways, I would say you were a psychotic, loving teammate.
I feel like psychotic is drama.
I feel like it's like both those powers coming together. Psychotic and loving.
I feel like we can choose a different word than psychotic.
Okay. Aggressive?
Yeah.
An aggressive woman.
Passionate.
Sure. So we can call it kind of whatever you want to call it, but Tori had a very high standard for everyone else, which was valid, because we want to win. But I think sometimes it wasn't what you were saying, it was how you were saying it.
Guys, if only you knew how many times coaches in my life, throughout my entire life, told me that, like, Tori, like, what you're saying is so good, like, you're so knowledgeable on the game, but, like, nobody's listening because of the way you're saying it. Like, it's not getting to people's minds because the way you're saying it. And I'm like, no, like, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, it's like if someone says, like, you suck, come on, that needs to be better. You're not listening to that, probably.
But, like, I was just so, like, heat of the moment. But, like, I was never somebody that carried anything off the field. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. But,
no,
like,
I don't think so.
I didn't try to, at least. It's just, like, it was a different beast when I stepped onto the field. Like, something else took over, and it was like, but I also expected people to say that about me, but nobody ever did, really.
Because they were probably scared.
Yeah.
But going back, like, just an example, like, Tori had 2 ACL surgeries, so after second revision surgery, everyone was like, oh, you're not going to come back for another year and a half. And Tori's like, no, I'm coming back to play in the fall. So 8 months later, she starts running. We have preseason in 2 weeks. So after 2 weeks of running, she comes back to the beat test and gets, like, what, 37 or something?
Yeah.
And beats, like, 85% of the team, which is, like, amazing slay. But she just always expected everyone else to be at that level as well, which I guess sometimes wasn't a fair judgment, but also
Right.
like if she's doing that, then it's more of like that mindset. Like also your first practice back, you're slide tackling people. Like most people aren't going to be doing that,
Right.
which creates kind of like this like if I'm doing it, why can't you?
Yeah.
But everyone is everyone is so different, and everyone is going through other things, and everyone has different sort of mental blocks. So I think that all comes into play as well.
Yeah, I think looking back, like, not fair of me to do to a lot of teammates, being like, because some people, like, they were fitter than me. Like, I wasn't fit. Like, I was gassed, like, when I got into my first game. Like, but I just passed the fitness test because I had a different mentality when it came to that. Like, I could just push, like, blackout, send it. But, like, other people couldn't, but that didn't mean they weren't fit. So I think it was, like, a just different mindset. I think if you guys have ever seen, like, The Last Dance, like, Michael Jordan, like, on a totally, obviously different level, because Michael Jordan was playing such a high level, and, like, those people were getting paid so much, so like he expected a standard for them, which like I think a little more valid than me. But like I think same mentality, like if he was expecting things of himself to do and he was doing those, he expected other people to do this. But like when you're at a Division 1 like university, like nobody's getting paid to be there. Like really, like scholarships, yeah, but it's not fair to hold people to a super high standard when like they're just here to have fun and play. And like even if I'm sure every single person on our team wanted to win too.
Yeah. I think it's just also like everyone's best looks different and every single day.
Yeah.
So that also comes into play, whereas, you know, your best and my best look different on some days than others. Yeah. So I think that also comes into play. But as like, I mean, we talked about our brothers a lot and stuff. Like, how do you think that affected, like, did you feel a lot of pressure on you to play D1? Did you feel a lot of pressure to be the best? Like, how did that impact, I guess, our life?
But yeah, I mean, I think we both can attest to this, but like, of course we wanted to play Division 1, but I think like our brothers going definitely helped. But I think even before, like, they really were set on like going Division 1, we wanted to, like, since we were young. Like, I think every girl's dreams like to go to UNC or whatever. But I think I had always wanted to do that, but I think my standard for myself was just so high. Like, I just knew, like, I remember when I was in like therapy, like after like when going through my second ACL, like I'd be like telling her things and she'd be like, do you know that's like not normal, like to have that standard for yourself? And I'm like, what? Like, it's simple. I work hard, I come back, and I like, and she's like, no, you need to be like proud of yourself for those things. Like, those are really hard things that you're doing. But I think it's just such a high standard. Like, if I want to do something and I don't reach it, it's a failure.
Yeah.
Like, instead of like looking,
I love how I'm agreeing, but yeah, maybe I shouldn't be.
Yeah, maybe we are out of control. But yeah,
I mean, it all comes down to just like wanting the best for yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you love something, like, that's what you're going to be good at. Yeah. So I think sometimes, like, even balancing school and soccer, like, we put everything we had into soccer. So our school, I mean, we both did well in school, but when you love something, you're giving it more. Like, certain classes I loved, of course I'm going to do better in it than others. So I have like a better, like for English versus science, like I expected myself to get better grades in English because I loved it versus science. And I think that was with soccer. It was like, and also like it ran in the family. Like, you're not like in high school, Connor, Parker, and Tori all got high school All-Americans and I did not, which didn't really, I would say, like, it didn't really affect me as much because I was still already committed to Binghamton University. Like, I knew I was a good D1 player, but it's that now, like, okay, now what accolades can I go get in college? Like, how can I be better in college? Things like always trying to, like, one up. Like, if Tori scored in a game, I wanted to score in a game. If I scored, Tori wanted to score. Like, it was a competition, I would say, for sure, but it's also, like, always just, like, trying to be better next. I feel like we didn't really dwell on the past much. Like, whatever happened. We weren't people to like sit much in it, especially because, again, our brothers and our family, like, let's go. We got things to work towards now, you know?
I think that's a really good learning lesson for people listening is like, if you've had a bad season or like some things happened in the past where you didn't perform to like a standard, like leave it. Like, you have to move on. And I think Libby's a good example of that. Like, 3 siblings were high school All-Americans and like she wasn't, and then she's now the only person who went and played professional soccer. Like, things like that. Like, just because like your past doesn't define you and you can rewrite your own new story and whatever way you want to write that, like, write it, go get it. Like, don't hold back. Like, don't dwell on it. Like, I love the saying, like, that's why like the rear view mirror is so much smaller than like the front, like, because your future is what matters. Like, yeah, you can take learning lessons from the past in that rearview mirror and like work towards new goals, but like at the end of the day, it's over with. Like,
yeah, like gotta move on, gotta move on to bigger and better, baby.
Yeah.
And that's just life, and things are gonna happen like that.
But yeah, I think that kind of sums us up as like a family, just like very tight knit, close, like, but we also were very competitive and held each other to super high standards, and in turn held ourselves to really high standards. But I mean, we also had so much fun. Like, it wasn't all competitiveness and wasn't all serious. Like, growing up, we had a ton of fun playing soccer and doing other things like swimming and mountain biking and camping and like all the things that we love to do. So,
and we were just like so blessed that our parents, were able to like provide that for us. Like, they gave up basically everything to give us what we wanted. So, I mean, we definitely wouldn't be here without them.
Yeah, no way. So thank your parents, everybody.
Yes, shout out all the parents.
Take time to appreciate what they do for you, driving you everywhere, paying for new jerseys, new cleats, even like those who played in high school and don't play anymore. Like, thank them for what they did sacrifice for you during high school, and like taking all the lessons that you've learned from playing sports and bring them into like your life now.
Yeah. So we just want like all the girls out there, girls or boys, honestly, who are playing sports, not playing sports, like, tune in if you want. We're going to be talking about like all these different topics. That's what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah. And confidence too. Like, confidence in all aspects of life is so important. Like, just to like, I always tell like the girls I train, like, just step out like you're the best player on the field no matter what, and that goes for anything in your life. Like, walk into the job like you are the best person for the job, or you're the best person for this role, and just act like it, and like have that chip on your shoulder, and don't be cocky, but just like in your mind feel like you are the best at what you do and that you deserve to be where you are.
Yeah, just be strong, confident, and like I said, sometimes you don't feel it, but gotta fake it.
Yeah, so I feel like you guys have gotten to know us a little bit and our personalities and everything we've went through, but like we want you guys to continue to get to know us. And like I said, on our social medias, when we start putting up posts, like, ask any questions you want or anything you want to hear, and listen to what we have to say. Our future episodes will probably be like 45 minutes. I know this one's a little shorter because it's just our intro, but do you have anything else to say to our listeners or viewers?
Yeah, I mean, slide into our DMs. But yeah, honestly, we're just super excited to continue talking about these important topics that we think are going to help anyone who is going through things, and just share our experiences on these topics. So we're going to get into telling more about our stories and what we went through, and asking each other deep questions just to get to the root of things. So really, we're going to be learning about each other. You guys are going to be learning about us and seeing what we went through.
Yeah, and I think it's, exciting. We're like, this is our first podcast, so we're new. Like, you guys are new listeners learning about us. But I feel like just get out there, like, tell your friends about this if you think anybody can benefit from like having people on their side, or people like that they can listen to and feel like they're not alone, and just spread the word, share our social media posts, share this podcast link, whatever you guys want to do. But
yeah, I mean, honestly, even if one person listens, like, that's our goal, is just to help people and just have fun while doing it. So follow us at recently.retired, and our next podcast will be out soon too.
Yeah, I think we're going to do 1 week release dates, Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern time.
We're doing 1 p.m.
I feel like that's when football starts, so 10 would give a nice like time to watch it before football.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm always thinking about the NFL because I love watching it. But yeah, so get out there. Our season 1 will be 10 episodes, like Livy said in the beginning. Listen, and they'll be coming out weekly on Sundays. So listen for it and be ready for each week's episode.
Thanks. That's our handshake.